We, at the EDC, which every day is working with prospective companies and investors to locate in the region, as well as supporting our existing companies, we cannot do that without the partnership of our local city leaders. So it is our privilege at this time to welcome our very own Mayor Jerry Dyer to provide some welcoming remarks. Mayor?
Well, good evening. I love this music. I feel like I'm at the Oscars or the Emmy when you walk out on stage. You got your walk-on and walk-off music. So really, it's an honor to be here this evening. I want to welcome everyone to the 19th annual Real Estate Forecast event. And you know, it does my heart good when I see various folks come together from different sectors to be able to learn about forecasts as it pertains to real estate, whether that is residential, commercial, or industrial. All of those sectors are important to us in the city of Fresno because as a result of those sectors, that development within our city, that we are able to derive revenue, either sales tax or property tax. And for us, property tax generates about 36% of our overall revenue for the city of Fresno, and sales tax is right around 32%. And when you have a year like we've had this year in our city, where we're starting to see a slight decline in our sales tax, then fortunately, property tax picks up. And property tax this year in our city is just under 8%, which is good. It really demonstrates that we have a thriving real estate market, and I hope it stays strong this coming year because I know that our property tax, or our sales tax rather, are projected to be down in FY25, and hopefully we'll start to see them level off in FY26. And so we need our real estate market in a bad way. I'll speak briefly on our residential. You know, we did a One Fresno housing strategy about a year and a half ago, and that strategy looked at what our demands were in Fresno over the next 3 years. And that demand showed that we needed about 11,000 units to be built in our city over that 3-year period, 6,100 affordable housing units and 6,900 affordable units and 4,100 market rate. And if we could accomplish that, which we can't, we would only achieve 26% of the demand that we have for housing in our community because we've fallen behind so much over the last several years. And so we need both market rate and we need affordable housing. Affordable housing, though, sorry, Tyrone, doesn't pay the bills. But we do need to have affordable housing in our community at the 30%, 50%, 80% AMI. All of those are important to us, what we refer to as workforce housing. But again, what pays the bills is market rate, and primarily not multi-family as much as our single family. And so we as a city have to take a very balanced approach and make sure that we're doing all of that. I do want to touch on downtown Fresno. I think all of you know that for many years we've tried very hard to revitalize our downtown. This city had a thriving downtown at one point in time, and I believe that great cities have great downtowns. And if you don't have a great downtown, it's hard to claim you have a great city. And if you look across our country from Philadelphia to Boston to New York, Los Angeles, wherever, they have these neat skylines downtown as a result of their developments. We don't in Fresno, but we're in the process of doing that. And we have currently about 3,000 people living downtown. We need to get that number up to about 10,000 people downtown. That's somewhat of a tipping point because once you hit that, things start to take off on their own with the private development and outside developers coming into your city. And so we have a lot of work to do. You know, downtown is zoned for 75,000 housing units, ministerial development downtown, so you can build without going through any type of environmental. And so that is important to us. But the reality is we can't support 75,000 housing units downtown. In fact, we can't even support 10,000. And the reason is we have this aged infrastructure. Our water and sewer mains are well over 100 years old. And so fortunately, as a result of nearly $300 million from the state of California, we are going to be able to replace all of our infrastructure, water mains, sewer mains, built-in parking structures, have some green space, storm drain basin, all of those things that we need to develop our downtown. But downtown is not the only place that we're doing housing. Our transit-oriented development corridor on Blackstone is starting to thrive in terms of housing. We have a housing development that's been completed at Blackstone and McKinley called the Links. We have one that recently got developed at Blackstone and Simpson in a partnership with Fresno Housing. We have another one at Fresno and Clinton, a large multifamily that will be completed here later this year. We have a senior housing project at Blackstone and Ashen. You may not know we're building a 30,000 square foot senior center, and adjacent to it will be senior housing. And then if you move on north or a little south from there, you have Manchester Center. I don't know how many of you know, but they're converting all of their upstairs and everything to the rear will be market rate housing. And that is 622 units. So anything forward facing on the ground floor, of course, there'll be our central policing district, but everything else will be retail. Everything up above and to the rear or behind it will be market rate. And those plans are already in, and those plans are already approved. And it's through Omni, and we hope that it's going to be built later this year, and it's going to be called the One Fresno at Manchester. So I look forward to that project being developed. We also have some opportunities on Kings Canyon. We have one at Ventura and 7th that's going to be developed, and a number of others along that transit-oriented development corridor. Let me just talk about some other single-family homes. We have a lot of area to build still west of the 99 in West Fresno. Infrastructure is already in place there, so we want to fully develop that. Northwest Fresno as well. And we have Northeast Fresno. There is still development that are occurring out there at Copper River. And then the unknown for us is the Southeast Development Area. Many of you know there's a Southeast Development Area plan that would call for about 45,000 units to be built west of Temperance. Our challenge as a city is when our general plan was done in 2014, the State Department of Finance gave us a projection on annual growth of about 1.2%. Our normal growth is about 0.66% per year. And unfortunately, in July of 23, they modified that and said, nope, not 1.2, but 0.2. So we've had to pause a little bit and say, are we going to have the population growth that was previously projected, that built out our 2004 general plan, that is going to demand it? And the reason is simple. It takes a lot of infrastructure to be put in place with water, sewer, sidewalks, streets, curbs, and gutters, probably about $1.5 billion. And that is paid back through developers over a period of time when they build. And so we press pause, and we are now looking at what that's going to look like for the future. It's not dead, it's just on pause. And quickly, in terms of industrial development, I know sometimes we have gotten a reputation in the Fresno area for a lot of reasons about not being business friendly. We have environmental issues. Now we have increases in construction costs. We have zoning issues that we're confronted with. And we know, and lately in the last couple of years, interest rates that have skyrocketed, all of those have become challenges for us. But I am optimistic. I'm optimistic because we have a good working relationship with our EDC. We have interest, and now we just got to get out of the way and let people build. And I mean that, Jerry Cook, I mean that. But good news is, over the last few months, Scanel, over 900,000 square feet of industrial development has been approved, so they will start construction very soon, as well as Coca-Cola is relocating into Fresno. All of those plans are done. They are in construction. And today, we got approved 7-0 by council, the Costco relocation, which is a big deal for Fresno. And so we have several more that are on the horizon. I know Lance Lippincott, our Economic Development Director for the City of Fresno, is here. I meet with him frequently. Every Monday he gives me a report. And I don't know how many leads we have now, but it's probably up around 150. And many of those look promising for us. So I believe, as the mayor of Fresno, that the future is bright for our city. And I hope tonight, after listening to the forecast, that I still walk away believing that the future is bright for our city. So thank you guys, and God bless you, and look forward to the rest of the evening.